She wasn't human, but she called herself my wife. Alex Reed didn't believe in aliens. Not really. Sure, the world had changed in the last 10 years. The skies looked different. Now purple lines sometimes appeared at night, like cracks in space. People whispered about treaties, secret missions, and new species. But Alex never thought any of that would affect him. He was a simple man, lived alone. Fixed machines. Woke up, worked, came home. Slept until that one morning the sun had just come up when he heard a knock at his apartment door. Sharp, fast, not like a neighbor asking for sugar. More like someone expected to be let in. Alex opened the door, rubbing sleep from his eyes. And there she stood, a small girl, no more than 5 feet tall, with glowing violet eyes and skin like smooth glass. Her hair floated slightly above her head, moving like it was underwater. She wore a silver outfit with strange symbols across the chest. She tilted her head and spoke in a soft, calm voice. "Greetings, Alex Reed. I've been assigned to you as your wife." He blinked. Once. Twice. "What? I am your assigned partner under the Earth-Voltrix Treaty. I have traveled 61 light-years to fulfill the agreement." Alex looked behind her, expecting hidden cameras. Was this a prank? But she was still standing there, eyes unblinking, serious. "You must be joking," he said. She held out a thin metallic card. On it was his photo, name, and something that looked like a marriage license but written in 2 languages. One was English, the other he had never seen before. "I don't understand," he muttered, stepping back. "My name is Zyra," she continued. "I am from the Voltrix species. I have studied your file. I believe we will be a good match." Alex stared at her. She looked too young, but her voice was mature. Cold, calculated. "Wait," he said. "You're saying the government sent you here to marry me?" Zyra nodded. "All humans selected must bond with a Voltrix partner. It is part of the Treaty for Peace." Alex shook his head. "I didn't sign anything. I never agreed to this." Zyra stepped into the apartment. Without asking, her movements were smooth, almost robotic. "You were chosen by the council," she said. "Your agreement was not required." Alex followed her in, confused, scared, and strangely curious. "Why me?" "You scored high in adaptability, emotional range, and problem-solving. Your past relationships failed, but you remained emotionally stable. You are an ideal test subject, sorry, ideal partner." He frowned. "Did you just call me a test subject?" Zyra blinked slowly. "Incorrect translation. I meant partner." Alex sat down on his couch. His head was spinning. "So what now? We live together? Pretend we're married." Zyra sat beside him, her back straight. "No pretending. This is real. Observation has begun." He stared at her. "Observation?" "Yes. Voltrix Council is monitoring all assigned pairs. Your behavior, choices, and bonding process will decide if Earth is ready." "Ready for what?" he asked quietly. Zyra paused. For the first time, she looked sure. She stood up, walked to the window, and stared at the sky. "If your planet fails," she said, "Earth will be removed from the Alliance. Your species will be labeled as unfit." Alex stood up too. "Unfit for what?" She turned to him, eyes glowing a little brighter. "Unfit to live." Silence filled the room. For the first time, Alex noticed something buzzing near the ceiling. A small black orb, floating. "Watching? What is that?" he asked. Zyra looked up. "A monitor. They listen, but not always. Only during key moments." Alex felt like the floor moved under him. "So if I say no to all this, if I ask you to leave?" Zyra stepped closer. Then the council will assign another partner, or remove you from the program. Remove me, memory wipe, relocation, or a termination. Alex laughed, but there was no humor in it. This is crazy, he said. You just walk into my life and tell me I have no choice. Zira didn't blink. You always have a choice, but every choice has a price. He looked at her perfect posture, her serious face, those alien eyes that somehow looked sad. Do you even want this? He asked. Zira looked down. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I don't know. But I was built for this. Chosen. I must. Succeed. Alex sat down again. He felt trapped, but also curious. Something about her felt real, not just her voice or face, but her presence. Like she was more than just a visitor. Like she needed him. He didn't know if it was fear, confusion, or instinct, but he knew one thing. His life would never be normal again. And somewhere outside, at a satellite orbiting Earth, someone or something was watching every move they set. Made. Alex Reed woke up the next morning thinking it had all been a strange dream. The glowing-eyed alien girl. The forced marriage. The hidden monitor in his ceiling. But when he turned over, she was standing beside his bed. Not sleeping. Just standing. Good morning, Zira said calmly. You were snoring. It was fascinating. Alex jumped. Don't you ever blink. I blink 5 times per minute. Humans average 15. He sat up, rubbed his eyes. Okay. I get it. You're real. She nodded. Alex stood, walked to the kitchen, poured coffee like a man preparing for war. Zira followed, scanning everything's a microwave. The fridge, even his socks. I've sent a progress report, she said. To who? To the Voltrix Council. They expect updates after the first night. We didn't even do anything, he said. We coexisted peacefully. That is a success. He nearly choked on his coffee. You call this peaceful? Zira tilted her head. You did not attempt to run, scream, or attack me. That counts. Alex dropped the mug into the sink and sighed. Look, I didn't ask. For any of this, I'm not ready to be anyone's husband, especially not to someone who looks like a glowing alien teenager. She stared at him for a second too long. I'm 93 Earth years old, she replied. My body was custom grown for emotional compatibility. I do not age like you. And I am not a teenager. Well, I don't care what the science says, he muttered. I want to speak to someone. I didn't consent to this. Zira turned away. You may request disconnection, but the process has risks. What risks? He asked. Before she could answer, his front door beeped. Not knocked. Beeped. A silver badge blinked on a small screen. Gov. 2.4 Interspecies Affairs. Alex opened. The door. 2 agents in clean black suits stepped inside without permission. One was human, the other wasn't. Its face was smooth, with no eyes. It moved like water wearing a suit. Mr. Reed, the human agent said. Mind if we talk? You already came in, so go ahead, Alex said, annoyed. Zira stood beside him now, unusually quiet. The agent looked at her, then back at Alex. We heard you were considering refusal of the bonding, he said. Yeah. So what? The alien beside him made a low humming sound. Not angry, not happy, just listening. The agent continued. Just so you understand, refusal violates Clause 6 of the Earth-Voltrix Treaty. It would classify you as a non-cooperative subject. I didn't sign that treaty, Alex said. The agent smiled coldly. But your leaders did. You're part of the system now. Alex stepped forward. So what happens if I refuse? The alien hummed louder. The human agent's smile faded. Memory modification. Relocation to another zone. Possible termination. Depends on your attitude. Alex felt a cold chill run down his spine. You're threatening me. No. We're informing you, Zira finally spoke. He is adapting. There is no need for pressure. The alien turned its head toward her and made 3 short clicks. The agent nodded. You have 7 days. Full bonding should be complete by then. Any signs of rebellion will be ... corrected. They left as suddenly as they arrived. Alex shut the door hard behind them and turned to Zira. This is insane, he said. They're watching me like I'm some kind of lab rat. You are not a rat, Zira replied. He stared at her. You're missing the point. She walked to the window and stared outside. Earth agreed to peace, but peace has a price. Our leaders believe your species must prove it deserves survival. Alex sat on the couch, trying to breathe. Why me? Why not someone important? Because they already know how leaders act, Zira said. They wanted someone average, someone real, someone unpredictable. Alex laughed bitterly. Great, I'm humanity's wild card. There was silence. Then Zira did something unexpected. She sat beside him, took a small square device from her belt and placed it on the table. It projected a small blue hologram, a list of names. Dozens, maybe hundreds, other bonded humans, she said. Like you. Alex scrolled through the names. Some were marked green, some yellow. A few were red. What does red mean? He asked. Zira hesitated. Failed integration, subject removed. Removed how? She didn't answer. Alex looked at her carefully. Are you okay with this? Marrying a stranger from another planet? Living like this? Zira looked down at her glowing hands. I was born to follow orders, but I'm starting to question them. He leaned back and whispered, Welcome to humanity. They sat in silence again. Alex looked at the monitor in the ceiling. He knew someone was watching. He didn't know who exactly, or why, but one thing was clear. He couldn't trust the government. He couldn't trust the aliens, and he wasn't. Sure, if he could trust Zira, but maybe. Just maybe. She was starting to feel the same way. Alex thought locking his bedroom door would give him privacy. He was wrong that night. As he sat in bed, he noticed a tiny blue dot in the corner of the ceiling. It wasn't blinking. It wasn't moving. But he could feel it watching him like an invisible eye he couldn't escape. The next morning, Zira was already awake. Again, sitting perfectly still on the living room floor. Her hands resting on her knees, eyes closed like a machine on standby. You don't sleep? Alex asked, yawning. I enter low-energy state. I require less rest than humans. Alex poured himself coffee, trying to ignore the feeling crawling over his skin. The dot was still there, quiet, glowing. Zira, he said. What is that? Thing in the ceiling. She opened her eyes slowly. That is a council monitor. Standard issue. All bonded homes have them. It watches us. Yes. All the time. Zira hesitated. Not all the time. Only when emotional activity increases. Alex dropped his mug into the sink with a loud crash. Emotional activity. So if I get upset or laugh too hard, or if you feel fear, anger, desire, she finished. They track it. They study it. Alex stared at her. You say that like it's normal. It is. On Voltrix, emotions are unstable and dangerous. That is why we study humans. You use emotions like tools or weapons. He leaned against the counter. You don't think that's messed up? Zira stood up. Her expression was hard to read calm, but something else was behind it, I think. Your species hides power inside emotion. You cry, but still fight. You love, but still destroy. You are not logical. You are ... beautiful chaos. Alex blinked. That's the weirdest compliment I've ever received. Zyra walked to the couch and picked up her silver device again. Would you like to see the others? The other human-alien couples, he asked. She nodded. This time, the hologram showed live feeds. Hundreds of rooms. Hundreds of couples. Some arguing, some silent, some empty. Alex spotted one screen where the human was yelling. Another where the alien girl was crying. Another where both had vanished and only a red countdown timer remained. What is that? He asked, pointing. Zyra zoomed in. Trial countdown. If the pair fails, both are disconnected permanently. He stared at her. They're killed. Some are relocated, some are removed. Their minds erased. Alex's heart started racing. Why are you showing me this? Because I need you to understand, Zyra said. This is not marriage. This is a test. And we are the subjects. Suddenly, her device buzzed. A red message appeared. External vessel detected. Non-council. Signature. Zyra's face changed. Her calm vanished. No, she whispered. What is it? Alex asked. She turned the hologram toward him. A massive ship was entering Earth's orbit. Black, silent, shaped like a crescent moon. Nothing like the peaceful Voltrix ships he'd seen in news reports. That ship, Zyra said, is not from Voltrix. It's from the outer rings. Good. Or bad. Very bad. The screen zoomed in on the ship. Strange symbols glowed along its body. Zyra's hand trembled as she touched her chest. What do they want? They want what was promised to them, mirth. Alex took a step back. I thought your people made peace with Earth. We did, Zyra said. But the outer rings never agreed. They believe humans are too wild. They think you must be. Replaced. By what? By themselves. Suddenly, the lights in the apartment flickered. The council monitor in the ceiling blinked red, then shut off. Zyra ran to it and jumped higher than any human could. She pulled it down in one move and smashed it on the floor. Hey, Alex yelled. What are you doing? They've lost control. The council can't see us now. That means we are alone. Alex's voice dropped. What happens when your people lose control? Zyra turned to him. Her glowing eyes looked scared for the first time. Then the others come. The ones who don't ask. Alex sat down, trying to think. So, what do we do now? Zyra looked out the window. The sky was normal, blue, calm. But above it, something dangerous had arrived. She turned back and said, We prepare. For what? For war. Alex had never felt the silence like this before. It wasn't peaceful. It was waiting. Outside, the sky was calm. But inside his apartment, the council monitor lay shattered on the floor, its blinking red light finally gone. Zyra had destroyed it with her bare hands. Now she stood by the window, unmoving, watching. Alex sat on the couch, his fingers tapping nervously on his knee. He finally spoke. You said they want to replace us. What does that mean? Zyra didn't turn around. Her voice was soft, almost like a whisper. There are 3 planets in the selection trial. Earth is one of them. Only one will be allowed into the galactic order. The others, she paused, ... will be harvested. Alex stared at her. Harvested like crops. Zyra turned now, her face unreadable. Biological data. Genetic samples. Emotional maps. Cultural memories. Everything useful will be collected. Everything else erased. Alex felt like the air had been sucked from the room. But I thought this was a peace program. A bonding project. You and me. Wasn't this about unity? It was. Zyra said, but now It's a race. A race for survival, he asked. She nodded. Alex stood up, started pacing. So you're telling me Earth is in some kind of intergalactic contest? And if we lose, humanity dies? Not dies, Zyra corrected. It ends. Alex stopped. And you're okay with that? Zyra took a breath. I'm not sure anymore. She reached into her suit and pulled out a small crystal disc. When she placed it on the table, it projected a spinning map. 3 glowing orbs hovered in space. One was blue Earth, another green, and the third dark red. 3 worlds, she explained. Earth, Viridian, Terseth, and we're all being tested. Alex asked. Yes. Through these pairings. Through emotion. Through decisions. Alex looked at the red world. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Angry, hungry. What happens if that one wins? Zyra hesitated. Terseth species do not bond. They conquer. If they are selected, your planet will not survive a single cycle. Then we need to win, Alex said firmly. How do we win? Zyra shook her head. The Council's judgment is based on data, emotional sync between bonded pairs, harmony, growth. Alex laughed bitterly. So, ... An alien marriage therapy program decides Earth's future. Yes, he stepped back. This is insane. All of this is insane. I didn't ask for this. I didn't want to be a husband, especially not to someone who's part of this. Zyra looked hurt. It wasn't obvious, but her shoulders dropped slightly. Her glow dimmed. I didn't choose this either, she said quietly. But I did choose you. Alex looked up. What do you mean? She looked away. We were given lists, profiles. I had over 1,000 possible matches. I picked you. Why? He asked. Because you were the only one who wrote, I don't trust anything that smiles too much on a government form. I found that honest. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Zyra stepped forward and placed her hand over the spinning Earth on the map. The projection zoomed in cities, oceans, movement. They're watching you right now, she said. Not just through machines, it's through instinct, through energy. You make it sound like I'm part of some spiritual exam, Alex said. You are, she replied. The universe isn't just wires and warships, it listens. It watches what species feel, not just what they build. Suddenly, the projection shimmered and a new signal appeared. Red, flashing, unauthorized. Transmission intercepted. Zyra's eyes widened. Someone sending messages from Earth. Secret ones. To who? Alex asked. Zyra pulled up the signal data. The code was old, Earth-based, but hidden in strange layers like it had been modified by alien hands. Someone on your planet is working with Terseth, she said. Alex clenched his fists. A traitor. Or a spy, Zyra whispered. She tapped the signal. It traced back to a location just outside the city, an old military bunker, long abandoned. Alex grabbed his coat. I want answers. Zyra stared at him. It could be dangerous. He looked back at her. So is everything now. She gave him a slight nod and followed. 15 minutes later, inside the bunker, the air was cold. Dust covered everything. Old tech, broken computers, and rusted chairs were scattered across the floor. Then they heard a humming sound. Deep and slow, in the center of the bunker was a single screen. It flickered. Then a face appeared, but it wasn't human. Gray skin, black eyes, rows of thin teeth. The image was broken, but clear enough to send chills through Alex. Welcome, it said. You're late. Zyra stepped back. Terseth emissary, she said. This shouldn't be possible. The screen laughed, a sick, digital echo. Everything is possible when humans sell their own world. Then the screen shut off. A small timer appeared. 0 hours, 5 minutes, and 47 seconds. What is that? Alex asked. A beacon, Zyra whispered. It's calling them here. 2. Earth? Yes. Alex stared at the countdown. 5 minutes left, then let's stop it. The countdown ticked beneath the screen. Silent but loud in Alex's head. 5:46, 5:45. He didn't wait for Zyra to speak. His instincts kicked in the kind of reaction that didn't need alien tech or emotional analysis. He lunged forward, trying to rip the wires from the back of the console. Sparks jumped out like angry insects, but the timer didn't stop. Not that easy, Zyra said, scanning the device. This isn't just a signal. It's a relay. Redundant failsafes. Alex turned to her. How many failsafes? Too many, she said flatly. This system was designed to keep broadcasting even if it's destroyed. It's connected to satellites now. So what do we do? He asked. Zyra didn't answer. She was listening to something. Her head tilted slightly, the way it always did when she was thinking, fast, calculating faster. There may be another way, she finally said. But I need you to trust me. Alex looked at her hard. You said that before. Last time, it got a council monitor embedded in my ceiling. This time, she replied, it might save your species. A deep sound vibrated through the walls, low and metallic. It felt like thunder trying to whisper. Alex's stomach dropped. They're coming, Zyra said, stepping back. The beacon already reached them, even with 5 minutes left, he said. They're faster than your math. They exist in folded space. That timer isn't for them, it's for us. For what? For the choice. Alex froze. The choice. Zyra nodded, pulling something small from her belt, a shard of crystal, black with a flicker of silver inside. This is a communication seal, she explained. If I activate it, the council will see everything. No filters. No edits. Raw and they will either judge you worthy or let Terraseth finish what they started. Based on what? Alex asked. Zyra turned to face him completely. Based on what you do in the next 5 minutes. The words hit him harder than the echoing hum in the walls. He looked at the console, the cables, the dust-covered screens, and then at her. This whole thing, he muttered, was never about bonding. It was a trap, a test, an audition. Zyra didn't argue. I should have seen it, Alex whispered. You didn't come to study us. You came to judge us. I came to understand you, she replied, but others came with harsher eyes. Alex stepped away from the console. His thoughts raced. If this signal stays live, the Torseth arrive. If you call the council, they might erase us. And if I try to stop both, you die. Zyra said simply. The timer continued. 3 hours, 33 minutes, and 2 seconds. Alex rubbed his face. Okay. What would a human do? Kira blinked. This is not the time for philosophy. It's not philosophy. It's instinct. He ran toward the far end of the room. Old circuit boards. Broken generators. Tools.cyr. A followed. What are you doing? He grabbed a wrench. I'm going to blow the relay. You said that wouldn't stop it, she reminded him. No, he said, yanking a battery from the wall and connecting wires. But it might give us one thing. What? He smiled. A story. Zyra watched silently as he rigged the core to overload. You're risking your life. I'm making a decision. Isn't that what your people wanted? She didn't stop him. She didn't even move. And that's when Alex realized. She was scared. Not of dying, but of hoping. 1:02, 1:01. He looked at her. If this works and your council sees it, tell them one thing. What? That we're not perfect, but we choose. We fight for what matters, even when we know we're outmatched. Then he slammed the wrench into the relay core. The lights in the bunker exploded. The screen turned black dot. The timer froze at 0:44. For a second, there was only the sound of melting, plastic and hissing circuits. Then silence. Complete. Zhao Ira stood still. Her skin glowed faintly from the energy shock, but she was unharmed. "You did it?" she said. Voice soft. Alex coughed from the smoke. "I think I broke a few ribs doing it. But yeah." Zyra stepped forward, held up the black crystal. The flicker inside had turned gold. "They saw everything," she said. "The council knows." And she closed her eyes. For the first time, Alex saw something real in her face. Not programming, not calculation. Something like hope, or fear, or both. There. Deciding now. Outside, the sky was still blue. But deep above it, in a corner of space Earth couldn't see, something ancient was waking up and watching. The sky over the city turned gray without clouds. It wasn't weather. It was something else, something bigger. A slow shift in pressure. Like the world itself was holding its breath. Alex stood on the roof of the bunker. Wind hitting his face, the taste of metal in the air. Zira stood beside him, silent. The golden crystal in her hand no longer glowed. They had stopped the beacon. But not the war. "What are they saying?" Alex asked. Zyra closed her eyes. Her lips didn't move, but she was listening. Somewhere. Beyond the sky, beyond what humans could see. The council was whispering across the stars. Finally, she opened her eyes. "They're sending an observer," she said. "Is that good or bad?" "It depends," she replied. "On what it sees." Alex frowned. "Sees what?" "Us." A long, thin ship entered the atmosphere minutes later, silver and shaped like a needle. It didn't make a sound as it descended, hovering, just inches above the bunker. A hatch opened, but nothing came out. Instead, a voice filled the air. No speaker, no direction, just presence. "Earth has interfered with the trial. A judgment must be delivered. The observer will enter the bonded mind." Alex turned to Zyra. "Bonded mind. What does that mean?" Her voice was calm, but her eyes weren't. "They want to see what we really are. Not just our behavior, our thoughts, our truth." "How?" "They'll merge us," she said. "You and me. One mind, one memory." Alex laughed nervously. "That sounds terrifying." "Is," she said. "We don't survive it unchanged." The light from the ship expanded, bathing them in white. Alex felt his chest tightened. His breath froze. Then everything vanished. No sky, no ground, only memory. He was 6 years old, holding his mother's hand, standing at a train station. Then he was 17, crying alone in a hospital hallway after his father died. Then he was in his apartment. Years later, laughing with a girl he almost married. She left him. He never forgave her. Or himself. Then, suddenly, he saw Zyra's memories. Not human. Not soft. She was floating in a white chamber as a child, surrounded by machines. She was tested, measured, trained. No parents, no stories. Just programming. Then she saw him, years before they ever met onto screen. She paused, replayed his file, chose him when she wasn't supposed to choose anyone. Back in the white light, their minds touched. No lies. No masks, only the truth. Alex felt her loneliness like it was his own. Zyra felt his anger, his fear, his stubborn, reckless hope. They stood face to face now. Not physically, but deeper. Soul to soul. "You understand me?" he said. "I always wanted to," she replied. The observer's voice returned. Emotional resonance detected. Human response pattern: unpredictable, irrational, incomplete, dangerous. Alex stepped forward, but not weak. Conclusion: potential. Recommendation: delay, final verdict. The light faded. The ship vanished. They were alone again. Zira collapsed to her knees, breathing hard. Alex helped her up. "Are you okay? I saw everything inside you," she whispered. "You should not be possible." "Thanks," he muttered. "I get that a lot." She smiled faintly. Her glow was dim now, flickering. "What's wrong?" he asked. "The merge took something from me. Time, life, I don't have long." Alex grabbed her shoulders. "No, you're not dying. Not after all this." "There's one way," she said slowly. "A final protocol. A heart bond. Full connection. Permanent. What happens if we do it? You'll lose a part of your mind. I'll lose part of mine. We'll become something new. And if we don't, I fade." Alex looked around. City in the distance looked untouched. People had no idea how close they came to being judged, erased, or conquered. He looked back at her Yra, the alien who was assigned to be his wife, who watched him sleep, who almost died to protect a species not her own. He didn't know if this was love, or duty, or madness, but he knew one thing. She had chosen him, and now he chose her back. He held out his hand. "Let's do it." She placed hers in his. The light returned, but this time it was warm. He opened his eyes in a world that wasn't Earth, not completely. The sky above looked like Earth's sky, but there were two moons. The air smelled like rain and cold metal. The colors were too sharp, too real, like a dream remembering itself. Alex stood on the edge of a lake that shimmered with starlight. His hand was still holding Zyra's. She was glowing again, but differently now. Her light pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. "Where are we?" he asked. She looked around slowly. "Place between what? Between your world and mine? The merge brought us here." Alex let go of her hand and turned in a circle. There were floating shapes in the sky, buildings, or memories, or both. One of them showed his apartment. Another showed a white chamber where Zyra once floated, alone. He looked at her. "You're inside me now, aren't you? And you're inside me?" she said quietly. He didn't know what that meant, only that it didn't feel wrong then. The wind shifted. The lake began to ripple, not from water, but from sound. A voice echoed across the space. "Judgment has been reached." Alex turned toward the sky, toward the voice that came from everywhere and nowhere. "Humanity is flawed, violent, scattered." He took a step forward. "But we're not empty." The voice paused. A long silence. Then, "You protect those who hurt you. You question everything. You feel pain and still move forward." A figure formed from light above the lake. Not a god. Not an alien. Just something watching. "That is why we are afraid of you." Alex said nothing. Zyra stepped beside him. "You fear them because they change what they touch." The light pulsed. "You are not ready for full alliance." Alex's stomach dropped. "But you are not to be erased." The figure broke into stars and vanished. Zyra let out a slow breath. They gave Earth a stay. No alliance. No war. "A second chance," Alex said. She nodded. "Very few species get one." He looked around again. The lake. The sky, the shapes fading one by one. "So, what now?" Zyra looked at him, but her expression had changed. More human now, less machine. "Now you wake up." His eyes snapped open. He was back in his apartment. Same old couch. Same messy kitchen. Same cracked lamp, except the ceiling was going blown. Wide open, stars looked down like curious eyes. He sat up fast, Syra. Her voice came from behind him. I'm here. She stood in the hallway, no longer glowing. No suit, just simple clothes. A plain white shirt, bare feet. She looked real. She looked human. He walked to her, stopped, then touched her shoulder, gently. You stayed. I couldn't leave, she said. Our minds are connected now. Can they still watch us? She shook her head. No. The council has finished watching. We're no longer subjects. Then what are we? She smiled for the first time. Just people outside. No ships hovered in the sky. No broadcasts played. No world-ending countdowns ticked. The planet turned quietly. The war had not come. The council had stepped back, and somewhere deep in space, another world would rise or fall. In their place, but Earth. Earth had been spared. Not because it was the strongest, not because it was the smartest, but because one man and one Molly, two strangers from two broken systems, chose to trust. Even when they didn't understand, they didn't defeat an empire. They didn't blow up a fleet. They just chose to hold hands, and somehow that was enough.